Okay, right. How do I get rid of this tab here? Never mind. Never mind, folks. As long as you're able to see this presentation or the screen here, you're all set. So let's not worry about the rest of the things. Let me just remove my coat, as I thought I should wear a coat for this presentation. So I did, in order to be more, appear more meaningful for the participants. But now I'm off the coat, and it's so hot in Bangalore. So here's, how many are from Bangalore actually? I think all of you guys, there are dozens of people on this webinar here. I think most of you are from Bangalore perhaps, or maybe some of you are from different parts of the country perhaps. I really don't know, but I know that all of you are experts, entrepreneurs, and professionals. So, and today is a very special day because we are going to learn about the top 2 ideas that can take you to a whole new level in doing business, and marry them both so that we get 10 times the value. That's what I'm looking at. So are you ready? I want to know whether you're ready. So okay, before we start, here are some ground rules. Number 1, influential marketing is a very interesting topic, and it's all practical stuff. Like, I'm not going to give you a lecture here. I'll be giving you a framework to apply in your business right after this presentation. All right. And number 2, the strategies and ideas that I'm going to share in this presentation today, in this webinar today, you may know some of them, while others, some of the other strategies may be totally unheard of or totally new. So pay a lot of attention. I have a lot of ground to cover. Switch off your mobile phones, turn off any distractions, turn off your television if you're in front of television, and give a chocolate to your kids if you have them around. Let them go play, and grab your pen and a writing pad to take notes, because it's so important. It just I run my seminars in the US, which run for 2-3 days at a time. So I'm trying to cram some of the most important strategies in influential marketing in 1 hour. So I'll be moving really fast. So I'd suggest that you have a pen and paper ready to take any notes if you find something interesting. All right. All right. Okay. At the end of the webinar, I will open the Q&A session, which is question and answer session. You'll be able to type your questions into the box below the video here, the one that you're watching, the live broadcast, and I will answer as many as I can this evening. If there are more questions, then then the time permits, I will answer all of them after the event via email in case we go over time. So is that cool? Good so far? Yes? Let's begin. Let's begin with my story. And don't worry, I'll keep it short. Some of you may already know me from belonging to one of my masterminds, or being one of my customers, members, JV partners, or good old buddies, perhaps. Well, if you don't know my story, I started as the last of the 3 children to my parents. I was born after a long gap of 7 years, and I grew up being alienated by my 2 elder brothers. They were 2 elder to me. So I wasn't the brightest kid in school, did fairly well in college, but I couldn't complete my graduation. So I had to leave college to support my family. And then I started my professional career as a programmer way back in the 90s. In 2001, I got exposed to online marketing, and from then on, it was a huge learning experience, ups and downs, everything. Just like any new adventure, it was full of challenges, learning, correcting, failing, and learning again, unlearning sometimes. And it took me 3 decades to learn that I have 5 great skills and I'm horrible at 1,000 others. But you and I have some common traits. We both are fighters, and we like to help people, and we are always independent. So that's what brings or connects me with you. We are creative, we are persistent, and we have a burning desire to constantly improve, grow, and elevate ourselves for a better life, right? That's exactly the reason why we both are here on this webinar. All right, in 2006, I founded my own internet marketing agency called InfoYogis, and today I'm honored to say that InfoYogis is the largest IM agency in Asia. We went from a one-man operation to, that was me, by the way, to more than 100 employees in 5 years and several $million in revenue. So during all these glorious years in business, I've had the opportunity to tour the world several times, visit dozens of countries, meet some of the most brilliant minds in the industry, and work with hundreds of JV partners and thousands of satisfied clients. So that's what makes me feel so honored and blessed to be in this industry. And of course, I also distilled my experience and perspectives in the IM industry into a book that I wrote and published from our own publishing company called Stardom Publishing and Stardom Books. And I'm also the publisher of the hit series, as Arjun was telling earlier, called Here's How I Did It. I published these books. This is a series of books. And this book series have become very, very popular and downloaded thousands of times and very popular in North America. Actually, these are business anthologies where I featured leading experts from various industries and published their stories and perspectives and insights and how they did what they did. Essentially, that was the idea, right? So and then I really I also feel blessed and honored to be the president of InfoYogis and founder of these brands called Stardom Alliance, and creator of the Stardom Test, and developer of several brands, including a site launch system, Agents Riches, and Brand Go Live. These were some of the brands that I built over the years. And I help people become famous and well-known by publishing them from Stardom Books and Stardom Publishing. These are my two publishing companies. And I'm also an author, entrepreneur, and a speaker. I speak at conferences and seminars around the world. I also conduct webinars like the one that we are doing right now on Google Plus Hangouts on a regular basis. So that's the format is very familiar to me. Okay, that was quick. That was all about me for now. I have lots of stories to share with you, but now we have very limited time. So I think this is enough for today's presentation, which can go under my biography, so that you get to have the more meatier parts of the presentation today. So let's get to the most important part right now. Influence and marketing. Now, what's influence? The definition. So folks, this is where it all gets interesting. This is where we start now. Influence, let me first give you the definition of influence. The ability, first of all, the definition goes like this: the power to change or affect someone or something. The power to cause changes without directly forcing them to happen, these are the keywords here. And a person or a thing that affects someone or something in an important way. So that's the definition of influence. And now see what's the definition of marketing. Marketing is the activities that are involved in marketing, in making people aware of companies or your offers or products, making sure that they are available to be bought. And another definition, or the extended definition, would be the process or technique of promoting, selling, and distributing a product or service. So that's what influence and that's what marketing is all about. So now how do we bring them together? You know what? The ability to influence others is crucial. It's so crucial in your business, in your career, and your management and leadership. When being interviewed for a position, let's say you use influence to demonstrate you are the best candidate for the job. When signing a new client, you use influence to convince them you can deliver better than your competition. When you are a manager, you use influence to motivate your employees to bring out their best. That's what you do day in and day out if you're an employer. And when you lead a team, you influence to set the strategy and get everyone on board. Is it right? How many of you agree? Right. Influence at its most basic definition is changing someone's behavior. It's making an impact positively in a situation where you ordinarily wouldn't have much control. It's a way of doing something rather than sitting back and deciding that there is nothing you can do. Build it and people will come. Those were the days, bygone days. Now you do something proactively in order to influence the behavior or change in other people. Influencing others is something we learn very early in life. If you have children, you know this very well. But as we grow older, many of us don't realize how powerfully influential we are or have the potential to be, actually. Studying influence in a psychology class in college, I recall a professor telling us that the average person pay attention to this. The average person influences 100 people each day. That's an average. We are doing it. We are influencing others. Whether we realize it or not, directly or not, giving it a thought or not, we are doing it day in and day out. That's what we have been doing. And now, coming to marketing, what if we can combine both? What if we can have your offers into the market, into the place, into the public, and then influence them to consider your offer, consider your product, consider your services. Of course, I assume or presume that you're going are going into the market with a great product in the first place, right? Right. So why do we need even to influence? What is the requirement to learn about influence or learn about or apply influence in marketing? Number one, first of all, you are more than you think. You are influencing everyone around you. You're more than you think. Most people, especially in these parts, try to hide behind their corporate culture or corporate outfit, being a CEO of a company or a founder of a company. They get recognized, or people want to feel recognized with their designation, which is not true. People are not buying your designation, they are buying you. Investors are not investing in your designation, they are investing on you. So you are more than you think. That's the reason why you need to learn how to influence other people positively. And the second reason why you need to influence or use influence in marketing and sales situations in your day-to-day affairs is something like to control the outcome of the ubiquitous influence. What do I mean by that? Influence, as we already know, is already there. You're either influencing someone positively or negatively. It's always happening. You're getting the attention or being ignored. You're being listened to or you're being like hogwashed. Like you're being paid the attention that you deserve or you're being ignored. Why does this happen? It's all because you're already influencing other people around you. You're meeting your staff, you're meeting your team, you're meeting your clients, prospects, vendors, investors, co-founders. If you are in a board meeting, perhaps, what you're doing day in and day out is you're influencing other people. It's happening all the time. If you want to control the outcome of this influence that you're already doing, you need to learn more about this influence model. Agreed? Right. All these concepts may sound a little crazy at this time, but you know what? Crazy ideas are those that make the big difference, isn't it? You're all, in a way, all entrepreneurs and especially the innovators, they must have a level of craziness in them. Otherwise, the innovation will not happen. I think so many of you agree here. All right. So what's the other thing? Well, why do we need influence? What's the one big reason? One other big reason. In the book, The Blue Ocean Strategy by W. Chan Kim and Renee Maborny, two amazing researchers, Harvard researchers. They wrote this book called The Blue Ocean Strategy. If you can find a copy, I suggest you buy this book and read this book. With the influence, you will be able to create your own blue ocean enterprise. And what's a blue ocean enterprise? Blue ocean enterprise is where there are no competitors. All the competitors are the red ocean. They're fighting for the same piece of the pie. There's a dog fight there. And the ocean turns red because of the fight. Cutthroat competition. Whereas you can learn influence marketing and create your own blue ocean where you are the only player there and there are no competitors, because you have set the value so high and you're so away and distant from your nearest competitors that they will not even notice you. And that's how there's so many companies around the world. They created blue oceans of their own blue oceans in their business. One example, which was used to be Apple, and now they have competitors, but again, in some areas. Southwest Airlines, for example, in the US, created their own blue ocean strategy, blue ocean business, by catering to smaller airports all over the US. All the major players were only catering to 200 different airports in the US, whereas Southwest came and conquered 10,000 local airports. And when you want to fly a smaller city, fly to a smaller town or a city, Southwest is the leader. They created their own blue ocean strategy there. And another example is, you know what, this is the same example that Chan Kim gives in his book, The Blue Ocean Strategy, as well. If you have heard of this show called, there's a Cirque du Soleil is a very famous show in the US. It's originally from Canada, I suppose. So they came in, and circus, the circus industry, or the field of the circus itself, was a downtrending industry several years ago, several decades ago. So it was going down by the nose, and Cirque du Soleil came in and they claimed their own blue ocean by eliminating the not so valuable things in the circus industry and introducing their own strategies, their own influential marketing principles and strategies, and created Cirque du Soleil. Now, Cirque du Soleil is the most famous show all over the US. I think now they are moving into other countries as well. They're going international, and they're raking in millions of dollars in revenue each and every month, maybe each and every year. They're doing it fabulous. They're everywhere, and they have made it so replicatable that you can't imagine it's circus. All right, so I'll let you go through the rest of the distinctions or the value distinctions by reading the book. But now you need to understand that you need influence, and you need to apply the strategies of influence in marketing, because you're more than what you think you are, and you need to control the outcome of influence which you're already making. And 3, you want to create a blue ocean for your business. Right now, how do we do this? How do we, in a day-to-day, in our day-to-day life? I had promised you right before this webinar that I'm going to give you something that you can take back home and apply, not only in your business but in your life as well. Because influence is not just about business, it's about everything that we do day in and day out. Here you go. Number 1, we tend to make decisions based on our emotions, right? And then attempt to justify them by logical means. First, we make the decisions by emotions, and then justify these emotions by logical explanation. We explain ourselves like, yes, I made the right decision, right? And the opposite is also true, which is called buyer's remorse, by the way. Has it ever happened to you that you buy something and you come back home and then you think, why did I buy this? So that's called buyer's remorse. And if you're a smart marketer, you do not allow your prospects and customers to develop this buyer's remorse by using influence strategies like the one that I am explaining you today. Right. Influence deals with the unconscious mind. Before you can do that, you need to gather some information, and it has to be the right information. And it begins with an understanding of what? Of beliefs, values, attitudes, and lifestyles. So what do I mean by that? And what do these four words mean? And why are they important in influential marketing? Number one, beliefs. Beliefs are what people know to be true with or without enough evidence to have made a rational determination that the belief itself is actually true. So these are all, we all have beliefs, different beliefs. And values are what people hold in esteem or significance in their life. Some people consider love or happiness, peace of mind, money, security, freedom, justice, or even companionship among the highest values in life. These are the things that people go after. There are hundreds of values. And all of us have different sets of values. It's not that we just want one thing. It's not like I want freedom and no money, or I want security and no peace of mind. We have so many things. Out of hundreds of values, we pay attention individually. Everybody pays attention to certain set of values which are important for them at that point of time in their lives. And then attitudes. Attitudes are people's states of mind or feeling as they pertain to specific values. For every value, they have a certain attitude. Some people say, like, for example, if you take money as the attitude, some people say money is evil, making money is bad, and all people who have made money have accumulated wealth in dubious ways. Some people have that attitudes. That may or may not be true. For others, it will be true for them individually. And then finally, lifestyles are how people live, considering the means, the values, the beliefs, and the attitudes they currently have. And the good news is all of these things can change, and you can influence change. Beliefs, values, and attitudes are something like unconscious filters of our experience. We see everything in life through the glasses of our beliefs, values, and attitudes. That's how we see the world. And once we open our eyes to our own beliefs, attitudes, and values, it makes it easier to understand other people's values, attitudes, and beliefs. So if you want to influence other people, first you need to know what are your own beliefs, values, attitudes, and lifestyles are. You get the point? In the course of on an average day, we don't discuss our attitudes and we don't discuss our values and beliefs, but we do perceive and experience life based on these filters. It's happening all the time, whether you know it or not. So once you know a person's beliefs, first of all, you need to understand about all these things about yourself, and then you know the other person's beliefs, values, attitudes, and lifestyles. You can ask them for anything in an appropriate fashion, and they will, but of the rarest instances, say yes. Most of them will agree to your requests because you're exerting influence over them. Influence is not something like creating a hypnotic kind of an environment. Some people have the beliefs. That's a myth. Influence is not hypnosis. Hypnosis is therapy. Influence is everyday how you present yourself. Right? How many people agree? Right? So if I were doing this in a live webinar, live event kind of setup, I would ask people this question, like how many people agree and whether they are following. Now we don't have that level of an interaction. I'm assuming that you're following me through, and if you have any questions, keep them till the end of the show, and then you can ask me your questions. Right. And when utilizing the tools and techniques of influential marketing, you must unconsciously map your products and services. If you're selling any products or services, you should map them into the values, beliefs, attitudes, and lifestyles of others around you. That's how you grow. That's how you go from X to 10X. That's how you build a sustainable lifestyle business around you. Lifestyle business. This is the keyword. So I'm so sorry if I'm going very fast now, but I told you I have to cover a lot of ground here. We are already 30 minutes into the presentation. I have not even told you the most important things. There's more things to come, like the influential marketing model that you can take home and use, apart from the one that we are discussing right now. Okay, so now let's apply this in a common scenario and see how that translates into usable wisdom. See, I just told you about beliefs, values, attitudes, and lifestyles. So how do you apply this in a day-to-day situation? Are you ready? All right, let's see. You know what? I come from the marketing and sales industry. So I have spent a lot of time in marketing and sales, and I still do. I love the topic. So let me give you an example on how this framework can be applied in a sales situation. All right. So let's say there are three magical questions that allow you to uncover other people's values instantly, just like that. So they're very simple to learn, and once you can utilize them in any context, your personal power as a salesperson or a marketing person is enhanced dramatically. All right. So the reason you want to know other person's value is that once you know what is most important to the other person, you're virtually guaranteed to gain compliance. That's the most important thing. You need to gain compliance from whoever you're trying to influence. And people don't typically have a clue as to what is most important in their business, in their life, in a relationship, or much of anything. They don't care. They're just going on. That's why a subtle utilization of influence is likely to tap the unconscious mind's responsiveness, and is likely to be more effective. Generally speaking, what are the three pieces you want to know about? The three pieces of information. Let's start with a question. Like, if you are interacting with someone, this is something that you have to this is one of the magical questions that you have to ask them. Number one, what is most important to you in X? And here X is could be someone buying you, or considering the purchase of your products or services, or you're pitching in for a job perhaps. So what is important to you in X? What's most important to you in deciding how much life insurance to buy, for example? If you're in a sales situation, you should ask your prospect this question: what is most important to you in X? What is most important to you in deciding what mobile phone to use? What is most important to you in buying a new home? Or what is most important to you in deciding how you order your food? Your client will respond with whatever is important. He may respond with one word like quality or service or speed. Or he may respond with a 20-minute monologue that you'll recap into 1 or 2 sentences. Depends on how much information they have or want to share. Regardless of how your prospect responds, pay attention here. His or her response and your summary of that response now becomes something what you call as why. Folks, this is a formula here that I'm giving you a formula. Write them down and apply it in your business, because I'm not in front of you. I don't know what your business is, but you can apply this as a template, as a formula, as a framework, right? So what the response you get from your client or prospect will now become why in our framework here. And then the next question you ask, the next magical question is, how do you know when you have why? How do you know when you have why? For example, let's say a conversation between a client and you. The client says, I want a car that is good value. You say, how do you know when you have a good value in an automobile? Or the client says, I want to go through, or I want to have enough insurance to protect my family when I die. And you say, how do you know when you die? I was trying to catch your attention here. Are you paying attention? That's not the question. You say, how do you know when you have enough life insurance to protect your family? All right. So the client may say, I want a house that is big enough for my whole family to live comfortably in. And then you say, how do you know when you have a home which is big enough so your family is comfortable? Once the client responds to your inquiry, they do so by stating something that is often ambiguous. Like, for example, they may say, we like quality. And next you want to ask, how do you know when you have quality X, which is substitute X with your house, automobile, mutual fund, insurance company. Like, how do you know when you have a house? How do you know when you have an automobile? How do you know what is it that you want in a mutual fund? How do you know it is there? This is called the evidence in the influence and persuasion language. So now you have the X, and now you also have the why. And then the final question is, if I could give you Y, would you Z or Z? If you can meet their highest value, quality, using the example above, will they work with you or hire you or buy your product? It's very difficult to say no at this point, because of the framing or the kind of questions number 1 and 2. Consider the following examples. Like, if you can be certain that this is an A+ rated insurance company, will you feel comfortable? This is the kind of question that you ask your client, the third question. It's very difficult to say no. If someone is saying, like, I want speed of delivery in a food ordering app, that's what they're looking, that's what their value is. And if you say, if you can be certain that this app can get your food in 20 minutes or less, would you be comfortable? Yes, that would be the answer. Nobody would want to say no. All right. Another example, if you can be certain that this is the best value in automobiles, will you be comfortable owning it? If you feel sure that this is a quality home, will you feel comfortable living there? Right? So these are the three magical questions. You're now able to tap into the innermost feelings and emotions of your prospect, and all you have to do is, in order to close the deal, is to appeal to those emotions and meet their expectations. That's it. You're set. So how many people find this useful? If you are in sales situation, if you are in any situation for that matter, because every day we are in sales situations with something or the other, we are trying to convince, persuade, influence someone. And if you can tap into this model, how many people can you influence positively? Starting tonight, starting at your home. Will you be able to influence your children? Yes. Will you be able to influence your spouse? Yes, of course. Tomorrow, when you go to your work, will you be able to influence your customers, peers, prospects, team members, vendors, clients? Of course, yes. Apply these things and you're all set. And this is just a little part of the strategies that I teach in my seminars. All right. Now let's talk about the influential marketing model. I want to give you additional value. I don't want to just lecture here. I said I want to give you frameworks, and you just had 1 or 2 frameworks here. I want to also give you the influential marketing model, which is specifically designed for this presentation. How is that? So I want to give you something like, I was discussing with Arjun, and he said most of these business, people who would be participating are entrepreneurs and business owners and the CXO community. So I thought, and he and I, we discussed and thought we should give you guys something that you go implement right away in whatever you're doing and gain 10 times the value. The value for spending an hour with me, it should be worthwhile for you. I'm not here to waste anybody's time, not my time as well. So let's get into this and let's talk about the influential marketing model. Now, what's common between these 3 people here? Number 1 is Steve Jobs. We all know, the iconic founder of Apple, and Tim Ferriss is one of my favorite authors, author of 4-Hour Workweek. He's one of my favorite writers. And the third dude is Sir Richard Branson. He's probably, it's not wrong if I say Sir Richard Branson could be the icon of all entrepreneurs around the world, because he runs more than 350 different companies, and he's such a cool dude. He enjoys doing what he's doing. And I had the honor of seeing him speak live. I don't say he's my friend, but I had the honor of seeing him speak live on stage, and he's phenomenal. So these are the guys. And of course, we all know Tim Ferriss for his amazing Steve Jobs for his amazing presentations, and Tim Ferriss for his amazing work on his writing industry, in writing books. So all the three guys here have one thing in common, that is they are tremendous influencers. They influence. They have a large number of fans around the world, and they influence everybody who they come across, both directly and indirectly. Right now, these guys are influencing you and me on this webinar. That's indirect influence, right? And they all are authors. They all have written books, and they all have spoken on stages the world over. They have personal branding, ultimate personal branding. Their companies revolve around them, not they hide behind their companies. It's not the other way. It's the other way around. Their companies follow them wherever they go. And that's the kind of thing that I want you guys to have in your life. I want you to develop your lifestyle business where you run more than multiple companies. Companies should not be your identity. You should be the identity of the company. All right. Okay. How do we apply the influential marketing model? Let's go quickly, because we have a lot of ground to cover and very little time. So, we're already at 7:12. So I need to wrap up in maybe 10-15 minutes. Can you bear with me for 10 more minutes? Right? I hope you can. So this is something we want to do. Here's the model for you. Influential marketing model. Right now, I am a frameworks person. I do frameworks for everything that I do. I apply them, I design them, and I use them. And I also teach frameworks for my students in my seminars and events. Okay, so this is a framework for influential marketing that you can use right away in your business. Let me explain. What's the one node of this framework is personal. Number one, what's personal node? Personal node is all about having your professional photograph. I have seen people have, on their websites, on their media, on their marketing, and what they share, their profile pictures, what they send or use on their WhatsApp, for example, on the social media, they have lousy photographs. Those are good for personal means. If you are a business person, if you are an entrepreneur, if you are an expert, if you are trying to solve the bigger problems in the world, you need to appear professionally. And if you want to influence other people, you have to be, you have to give that great first impression. And one of the best ways to give that first impression is to have a professional photograph of you everywhere. Don't crib on this. Go to your local professional photographer, get a number of photographs done, and get the digital copies of the photographs and use the best ones everywhere in your collateral, online, offline, everywhere, right? And the second thing you must do in order to gain more influence and have influential marketing is to have a personal website as well. Even though you have a company website, you must have your own personal website. Register a domain in your name. I have a domain called raamanand.com. That's my domain name. That's my name. You can have your own domain name, register that if it's available, or find something that can make up your name and register the domain name and start blogging. I personally recommend and use WordPress as a platform because I don't want any bells and whistles on my website. I just want to connect with people, and WordPress is a great way to set up a blog immediately on your website. If you already don't have a personal website, go register one, start a hosting account, and start a blog and use WordPress for that. And number three, where you can really use the model, influential marketing model in your personal branding, is through your email signature. Make sure that your email signature has your picture, your photo, and your name spelled properly, and anything that you want to say about you in your email signature. And you can actually create beautiful colorful email signatures by going to this website called wisestamp.com. No spaces. wisestamp.com. wisestamp.com. So when you create your email signature, which is called a signature, by the way, and whenever you send an email, your information is automatically added to this email, and that will create your branding. All right. So you will do what's cool that you're doing right now. You can say about that in your signature, email signature. People are going to see your picture and your signature in your emails, in each and every email that you send. So make the best use of that online real estate. Don't waste electrons. Make the best use of them. All right. Right. The second node is social, which is in my my recommendation. Social includes the top four. For me, it may be different for you. It is Facebook, LinkedIn, Google Plus, and Twitter. These are the four uh, social media networks that I personally use. So you too must be totally active on these social networks. Apart from your business may already be on social networks. You should also get on social networks as well in your private capacity or your personal capacity, and offer first of all, have a very nice updated profile with latest picture and everything latest that you have been doing. Especially LinkedIn, it allows you to add everything about you, and people do watch you online before they deal with you. So make sure you have a very good profile with pictures, and all the information on your profile is current and makes sense that it's relevant. Okay. And of course you need to regularly update. It's not required that you have to update your social media accounts on a daily basis, or you have to share what kind of food you ate or where you went to celebrate your birthday. Those are all personal posts. In your professional posts, put something professional. Talk about your topic, your answer a few questions, tell them what your business is going and what's your passion about that. Okay. And then you also can join groups on all these networks, at least on LinkedIn and Facebook. And you can also start your own groups if you're interested in building an audience, if you're interested in building a fan base, a group of people who wants to follow you. Start your own group on your topic, and over a period of time people will start following you, and you will have a huge number of people as your fan following, which is a good thing, isn't it? Right. And number three, let's move from here. Let's move fast. Lists, absolutely essential and most important. Build not just list, build segmented lists. And what do I mean by that? So whenever someone comes to your website or your landing pages or your social media profiles, you want them to come and get on your mailing list, an emailing list. That's you just cannot have thousands of people on your contact list on your phone or on your computer and start emailing them whenever you want to email them. There's a whole new software called emailing software that you can use and you can set up on your websites that will automatically capture the name and email address and other information if you want, like for example country or phone number of all your prospects, and segment that list into different segments so that if you come up with something new, or if you come up with a new blog post or a new article or a new video, you can email all of these people on your list with just one button, like one click. You set up an email, you write an email in your emailing software, you select the list that you want to send it to, click send, and there could be any number of people on your list, like tens of thousands of people. In my I have a list of about 100,000 people on different lists. So whenever I am talking about webinars, I have a list of people that I send information about webinars. If I'm talking about authoring a book, if I'm coming up with a new product or a service or a workshop, I'm coming up with a new workshop for people who want to become published authors and in Bangalore. And now I have a list of people that I can send my emails to. People in Bangalore, that's a segmented list. I have a number of people in Bangalore that probably fit into this demographic, and I can, since I have this list of emails, I can email them whenever I want, and the software takes care of handling everything. All right. And the top three emailing solutions that I personally use and recommend are Aweber, MailerLite, and MailChimp. That's Aweber, AWBER, aweber.com, and MailerLite, MailerLite, lite.com. That's another one that I personally use. And I also use another service called MailChimp, MailChimp, MailChimp.com. So these are the top three service providers that I personally use for my for maintaining my mailing list so that I can influence my audience. And next comes videos. Like if you're camera shy, lose the shyness, get in front of camera, make some videos about your own products, about your services, about your topic, and start putting videos on your blog. And you can also start a YouTube channel. You can start your own channel for your topic and start sending doing videos. It need not be lengthy videos. It can be just 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever is comfortable for you, whatever is essential for your audience. If you have a message to tell or say, why don't you turn on the camera? Nowadays, even your mobile phones can capture beautiful videos. Turn on the video, turn on your camera, capture a video, and take it to your YouTube, upload it, and take the embed code and put it back on your website as well. Even that's possible. Your video need not be on YouTube. It can also be on your own website, and it must be. All right. So that's about videos. Actually, creating and how to create a video, what to say in a video is an entire new seminar. It's a one-day seminar if I had to teach you. But now for this, webinar, it's enough that if you understand that you have to, do videos as part of your influential marketing model. All right. And finally, we have media. Media is all about how to get into TV or print or online media. There are so many places where you can personally brand yourself. You can go on local television channels and be the expert that you always are. Even though you're selling a product or a service, you need to be an expert in your own product or service, and people want to know your expertise. So go on TV. I've seen many doctors do that. They go on TV and they start talking about the ailments and their expertise and how to treat, how to prevent all these things. So like that, you should at some point of time you should have a plan to go on TV. And of course, you can also send articles that you write to local newspapers. And most of these newspapers are actually looking for information about a certain specialties that you are already an expert at. All right. And then there are also, of course, nowadays there are plenty of places online where you can put your content up there, and social media being one of them. All right. And finally, authority. How do you gain authority of your topic? How do you become the go-to person in your industry? How to get people to pay attention to you, respect you, place credibility on you, and how do you boost your reputation instantly, just like that? One thing is to become an author. Write a book, become a published author, and your reputation goes up like bam, it shoots up. It goes through the roof. And I have seen that personally. I have had that happen to me, and I have seen that happen to so many of my clients and other people, business people that I've worked with. As soon as they come out with a book, they are respected like anything, right? And that is influence, and that creates more widespread influence. And people who also become authors are also more invited to speaking engagements. They're invited to speak to audiences because they are author of this book. They are author of this topic. And then the other one about authority, or other element of authority, is doing events, conducting your own events, conducting your own hangouts, like webinars that we are doing right now, that I'm doing right now. You can do this too, and do your own events, meetups, live, online, offline. Do all those things, and those are the things that will increase your influence through the roof. So how is it so far? I don't think I was able to go deep into each one of these, but this is what you need to know. With little research and with little effort, I think you'll be able to crack this model and take your business to the next level. But wait, I have something else to give you, which is a bonus. And don't worry, I'm not going to sell you anything on this webinar or anything like that. I don't have anything to sell right now. I'm just giving you value, information, knowledge, wisdom, something that you can use right away. Okay, so there are 4 pictures here on the screen. Number 1 is Steve Jobs with his mentors, and number 2 is Elizabeth Taylor with Audrey Hepburn, who was a mentor to Elizabeth Taylor. And number 3, our good old chap, Sir Richard Branson here with his mentor, Sir Freddie Laker. And finally, we have our cool dude, Bill Gates here with Dr. Ed Roberts, who was his mentor one time. And me, I have so many mentors. I'm so fortunate and so blessed and honored to have been mentored by amazing people like Tony Robbins and Brendan and Darren Hardy of Success Magazine and Peter Diamandis and Joe Polish and Dean Graziosi. And there's so many other people that I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. I've had this opportunity to go around the world, participate in seminars, go to conferences, and speak on stages. So many things that I have done, and I've rubbed my shoulders with these amazing people, some of the most brilliant minds on the planet. And that's why I am here today talking to you about influential marketing. So I was able to apply these influential marketing principles in my own business, earn millions of dollars out of that, build multiple brands, and teach these principles to other people through my events and webinars and seminars. And those people who have got influenced by me and using my strategies have gone and made their mark in the world. They have become authors, they have become great businessmen, business people, they have become entrepreneurs, they have expanded all over the globe, made millions of dollars. They've been totally successful. They were able to take their business from X to 10X. They went from being an achiever to a super achiever. And Super Achievers Academy is one such seminar that I do, where I teach dozens of frameworks like this, even bigger ones, like we go deep. And I'm also scheduling my first ever workshop for people who want to have very high influence by writing a book. And that is happening on 11th and 12th of June in Bangalore. I'll tell you more about that later. But today, this webinar was all about influential marketing and how you use influential marketing in your business, in your day-to-day life. All right, so I think we have come to the end of this presentation here.